Hey everyone, it's Anastas617, just back with another little quick vlog here to recap my July 2019 trip staying at the Cal. I posted the room review recently. Just got over 50 views, which is probably 10 times more than I thought I'd get on it. I've also got 8 subscribers, which blows my mind from one little crappy video. I know like 2 of them are personal friends, and the rest are other Vegas people I've interacted with or randoms, which the randoms are the ones that would most completely surprise me. So I really appreciate anyone that's looked at it. I'll get out of the way now. Most people do it at the end, but any likes or comments or subscriptions are greatly appreciated. As far as sharing the video, I would say, maybe if you're thinking of sharing my videos, wait until I do my August trip reports. This is really going to be just a boring, quick recap of me talking to the camera. Not a lot of people are going to be enthused by that. This is more just practice for me to get more comfortable. So I'll get that out of the way now. So just like I said, quick recap. As I said in my room review, I arrived about 10 a.m. and the Cal checked me in right away, which is phenomenal. Most places just won't do it, even if they have the space, or they'll charge you for an early check-in. So, like I said, mad props to the Cal for customer service. And like I said, I kind of threw everything off by going to sleep right away. I slept until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Quick backstory, I work overnight. I work 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. shifts. So part of why Vegas is great for me is I don't have to change my schedule. But usually I try to alter my schedule a little bit the night before I'm leaving so I can sleep a little later. I wasn't able to do that this time. I can't sleep on planes, which is why I was so exhausted when I got there. Usually I drop my bags off and go do some stuff and just power through, get my second wind in the afternoon, and go from there. So I did throw myself a little off here. Got up at 4. I actually ended up going to a locals video poker bar. I'm fairly good friends with a bartender that works there, so I always try to make it a visit. I had no luck whatsoever. Playing the video poker, with tip and all that, I ended up losing $100 fairly quickly. For my first night, and made my way back downtown. At the Cal, saw a double deck 3-2 table, so sat down there, and that ended up being kind of a marathon session in recollection. Usually on these trips I use my phone notepad and I record all my information, how much I made, how much I bought in for and all that, and I was just really sloppy this trip. I didn't do it. I wasn't feeling all that great for this trip. I'll explain that in a little bit, but I ended up probably losing almost $300 at a $5 table, so that just kind of shows how my luck was running during the trip. I play by the book strategy. I hit 2s versus, or I hit 12s versus 2. I stay consistent with all that, so it's just, the luck was not with me this trip. So like I said, I ended up playing until probably 10:30 a.m., which is later than even I in my worst degenerate days stay up. I remember the time because I made it over to the Market Street Cafe, and it was shortly before the buffet was closing, and I don't even want to imagine what anyone that saw me was thinking, because by that point I was pretty well, liquored up, and I was probably like a Hoover on the two plates I got, and I got two plates at the same time because I wasn't going to have enough time to go to the buffet before they shut it down. So it was good. It's a buffet. Nothing too fancy there. No omelet station, no crepes or anything like that. Just standard, scrambled eggs and sausages and all that fun stuff. Like I said, Market Street's pretty good. It's one of the better values I think you're going to find as far as eating. Now they're known for their oxtail soup, which I didn't really know about, but I did notice that there was a huge line or queue for my UK friends about 11 p.m. to get in there. And I'm like, which blew my mind when I found out why. I'm like, how good can it be? I did end up getting the oxtail soup a couple nights later when there wasn't really a line. It was probably like 3 a.m. or something like that. You know, I thought it was okay. The broth was good. Part of the problem might be I didn't really know how to eat it. I didn't want to look like an idiot just picking it up and gnawing on it and using the little spoon and fork. I probably ended up leaving half the meat, but it was pretty good. I wouldn't get it again, but I'm glad I did. I can say I had ox now. I made a little question at the table. I think everyone took it more as a joke, but I'm like, what do they do with the rest of the ox? I've never seen ox on a menu anywhere except for oxtail soup. So it just had me wondering, do they just like slice their tail off and leave them, tailless? I don't know. But if anyone knows what they do with the rest of the ox, I'm not even trying to be funny about it. I'm just kind of curious. But anyways, so second day began. This was probably, early afternoon. I didn't sleep very long, so already day two was off to a bad start, just because I was so exhausted. I ended up walking down to Atomic Liquors because I'd never been there. I've always wanted to go. Didn't realize they only open at noon on the weekends. This was Monday, and they didn't open till 4. So after trudging along down there, sweating my balls with words off, or not we, but I decided to hit the donut bar on the way back. I had never been there either, so I figured I'd check that off my list. This was late. They didn't have much left. I got the Homa donut just because iconic. It was good, a little sweet, which, is expected. The problem was I wasn't really hungry, and so I was eating something just to eat it, not because I was hungry. So that kind of lessened the experience a bit. I was hoping they had the peanut butter and jelly donut, because I really want to try that, but it didn't look like it had even been on the menu that day. Next time I go, I'm definitely going to try that Pop-Tart one, the strawberry one, not the s'mores one. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to go again. It was, I could tell it was good, even though my heart wasn't really in eating at the time. From there, I went over to the Elko and played Double Deck. Now, this was a shoe, which I don't know if I've ever played Double Deck as a shoe before. It's usually a pitch game, but I had no luck at all on there. I went through 100, again, $5 tables, went through 100 pretty quickly, bought in another 100, went down probably another 50, fought back. I think I ended up getting to like 75 and saying, okay, I'm cutting my losses here. But I do like playing at the El Cortez. It's just, like I said, the gambling gods just weren't with me on this trip. So a little fuzzy on the rest of the day. I went to downtown Grand, played, usually if I can find a Holly machine, I usually look for that every time I go through a slot area, see what the numbers are at as far as the wheel or the bonuses are. Ended up seeing really good numbers on the 40-cent one. So I sat there for a while playing on that. I think I hit like two mini bonuses. Didn't pay all that much. And then I finally hit the Mega, the 3X one, and that got me back to even. Actually, a little above even. I might have won like 25 bucks on that machine. The rest of the days are kind of jumbled together. Like I said, I didn't really keep great notes, and I didn't really plan on doing any sort of recap on this. In the evening, I played at the D, but the D and the Golden Gate are really my favorite places to play. I like the atmosphere. Not really my genre of music per se, but in that type environment, it works. It's good. The D, I don't know if I've ever seen $5 tables at the D. They always start at 10, where Golden Gate is at 5. I had two match plays, one from the American Casino Guide for 25 bucks, and then one from the D itself for 10 bucks. I ended up winning both of those like right away. So I started out ahead, and then it went down again. I didn't have much luck there at all. Played for a while. Is what it is. Played at the Golden Gate. Again, I think I went through 100 really quickly, bought in again, and fought for a while on that, which is fine. I mean, I don't mind. I'm planning on losing the money. I guess I just prefer when, you're reasonably extending out your play time, for what's expected. So, excuse me, you didn't really need the close-up on my face like that. So, at this point, I've lost everywhere I've played. I played a couple more sessions at the Cal. Better than my first session, but still losing overall. I had I'm one of those people. I seem to develop a little crush on every trip, whether it be a bartender, a waitress, or in this case, an attractive girl named Julie that I was playing with at the table. So that probably made me play a little longer than I really should have. Just a little fun talking and stuff like that. Not, whatever. I'm a single guy. Aside from the gambling, I do love downtown because I can take a break at night with the live entertainment. So watch some bands. But Crush is my favorite band that plays down on Fremont Street. If you've never seen them, I'd suggest checking out the Fremont Street calendar if you're going to be in the area, see when they're coming on. So I actually, because I had been doing so lousy gambling, I watched all three of their sets. I hit the Four Queens bar for some of those tall boy cans of a beer to have while watching, and they're great as always. I'm going to try and get a short clip of them during my August trip, just to highlight them because I really do love them. There's some other bands I make it a point to try and see. I caught some Alter Ego. They're awesome as well. I usually don't stay for their full sets, but I catch one set or parts of it. 80 Station I absolutely love, but they don't play quite as much as they did a few years ago, it seems. I'm sure they probably got a lot of private bookings or something going on, but I think they are going to be there during my August trip for one night, so I'll make it a point to see them. The other one is Spandex Nation. They're spectacular. Peter Monroy, the singer, he's just got a fantastic voice. I've seen them so many times, and they tend to, it's kind of repetitive. Although, like the hair metal, that's my jam. If a 44-year-old guy's allowed to say that. So it is my music, but it's definitely a little repetitive for me. But if you've never seen them, they're awesome. And coming up brings me to kind of the last day. Like I said, I booked an extra night because I realized that my nights were getting really late and 11 a.m. was going to come soon. I usually book the extra night anyways. As you'll see in August, I did book the extra night because there's just something about being able to sleep late, not have to worry about checking your bags, hanging around, finding something to do. Being able to take a shower before you go to the airport, I mean, it's great. It's, kind of, an indulgence. It's, paying some extra money, but where I stay, it's usually worth it for me to not have the stress of, a big break between leaving the hotel and the airport. That being said, there was some torrential rain and lightning storms in Boston that day, which caused my plane that was coming from Boston to get delayed. I think basically Logan Airport got shut down for a few hours. So anyways, my flight was delayed almost 3 hours. So this is where my real downfall went. I decided to kill some time on the new Heidi and Hannah machine in the Cal. Everyone seems to have machines that will kind of tilt them, like chasing bonuses, and Heidi is currently my machine that happens to me all the time. Brittany used to be the machine, but Brittany never paid anything, even when you got hits. Heidi at least seems to pay better at times if you don't piss through your money. But that being said, I went through 200 with like nothing. Put in another 100, raised my bet, got a five spin bonus with minimal sticking wilds. So it was like almost like not having a bonus. And so I kept on that, went through my third 100, put in a fourth 100, and at this point I'm just losing it a bit. Finally hit, this was a 10 spin, had better wilds, and I ended up, it was like a $90 bonus, something along those lines. So I ended up cashing out down $250. All in all, I almost exactly hit what my budget was for the trip. So it wasn't bad, but I really like those trips where I come out with like half of my budget still in my pocket, because I put those towards my next trip. So, it could have been worse, could have been a lot better. I had fun. Like I said, wasn't really feeling it this trip. It was mostly, not to get into too much, but I've been on a ketogenic lifestyle for about a year. I had hit my goal weight, and then I went on vacation in May, and went off really for the first time. I ended up gaining like some weight, but then I went back and then on this one. And the thing about it is when you start reintroducing those carbs and stuff, I just felt sluggish and I just didn't feel right. So that really contributed to my overall mood. I'm doing better now. I've started losing back some of that, but who knows, I'm going to go off again in just 3 weeks now, so we'll see. No one really wants to hear about that too much anyways, but wow, this is almost a 20-minute video. Unbelievable. I can talk. So I'll just wrap it up there. Again, I appreciate everyone that's watched, and I'm looking forward to doing this, mostly for me. There's a number of reasons I decided to start doing this, and I will probably at some point do a video about that, all the factors that led into it. Maybe I will even touch on it in my August prelude video. I think I'm going to do one more video before my trip, and that's kind of, I'll go, over kind of what my plans are, things I'm looking to do different, mistakes I've been making, as well as over some of the whether it's My Vegas Rewards or American Casino Guide coupons I plan to use. But again, big thanks, and for those that stuck it out, I'm sorry I'm a little long-winded and this wasn't the most exciting video, but again, this is just practice for me, so I appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Cheers.